Welcome everybody to episode 6. Episode 6 in this thing. If you are an athlete, if you are a non-athlete, if you're a believer, if you're an unbeliever, we want to welcome you. If this is your first time, my name is Avery Jackson. This is
Daniel
my
Roberts.
guy. Co-host. This is my guy. If you don't know who this man is, I'm going to just take 15 seconds to tell you who this man is.
Oh my God.
This man is an All-American. Correct me if I'm wrong. An All-American. Olympic silver medalist. A track phenomenon, a track star. But most importantly, see, I'm not going to give you a whole laundry list. But most importantly, he's a cool dude. He's a husband. He's a son. He's a brother. He's a child of God.
That's what
He's actually a dope person, though. So this is my guy, Daniel Roberts. Like I said, I'm Avery Jackson. This is episode 6. Welcome everybody that's here. That is our introduction, and we're gonna get right into what we're gonna get into today. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got this energy, even though we're talking about kind of a weird. We're talking about handling failure, but I can't. I feel like
I think our worship time was like that today.
It was.
Well, I guess we can fill them in. We have a worship time before we record every episode. So we do. I mean, it's on like 5. I think today might have been a little bit over 5, like 8 to 10 minutes.
That second song started playing.
I was like, yeah, we need that. But no, we just sit here, we worship for a little bit to make sure our mind's in the right place. We invite God to speak through us into the pod, just that He blesses everything, blesses the people that's hearing it. And today, it was needed. It was good for sure.
It was good. Now we have a new energy, that spirit.
Yeah,
like it just
even though we're talking about failure.
Yeah, but so
What's that?
But yeah, so we're talking about how to handle failure, different ways failure can come about, what to fall on, like failure in sports, failure in quote unquote failure in sports, quote unquote failure in your
walking journey,
failure in life and stuff like that. But I'm gonna start off with a pretty bold statement,
go ahead,
then you can react off of it. And we can go wherever we want to go. Right. But my bold statement is, it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna fail at some point in your life.
Facts. Nobody
can escape failure.
Yeah.
Now, how drastic it is, I can't speak to that. Yeah. But I feel like everybody, me, you, the people that's down the street that we don't even know about, everybody at some point in time is gonna fail. And the question is, how do you deal with that failure?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's essentially what the pod about today. It's not about if you're going to fail or not. It's about how to handle failure. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that alone kind of tells you that everyone at some point in their life, you're going to fail. And that's just a part of life, but it's also a part of growth. Like in order to grow and see improvement in any area, whether it's sports or your faith or relationships, you have to try things. You have to do some things in the wrong way to figure out how to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm with you 100%. Anybody at any point in life, you're going to fail at some point, for sure.
You're going to fail. It's just, and like I said, it's a matter of how do you handle it?
How you bounce back from that.
How you bounce back from it.
Speaking of bounce back, I think of for me, something that was essentially like failure. Like when I first turned pro, in 2019, I think I was like 20.
Did I mention in the intro he's a professional athlete?
Anyways, when I was 22 years old, it was my first year pro. I had a great college season coming off of that, going into my first pro like U.S. championships and then world championships. I went to that championships. I won my heat, but I found out later that I got disqualified for hitting one of the hurdles in the lane beside me.
Dang.
So I got DQ'd, and that's just the beginning.
Oh, geez.
That's just the beginning. That happened, and that to me was a failure.
Right.
A lot of people have been like, "Well, you made it. Like you made it to that far on a big stage, and only being 22, fresh out of college, and that's cool." But to me, that was a failure. And then you fast forward, 2020 was COVID. 2021, I was having the worst year ever for me. I was running like 13.4, 13.3s just consistently. I couldn't run faster than that. Mm-hmm. I finally made it to where I made it on the Olympic team, and I ran fast at the trials when I had to get top 3. And then after that, I just couldn't run fast again. I went to the Olympics, made it through the first round, and then I think I finished like 9th out from making it to the final at the Olympics in 2021 in Tokyo. And to me, that was a failure. Yeah. And then 2022, there's more. Yes, I'm telling you, bro, it's a process. 2022, that was, oh my gosh. 2022, I had a different coaching situation. Again, I wasn't running well at all. And then I get close to the USAs. I started making some changes on my own because the coach I had, I feel like it just wasn't really clicking. So I started doing some things differently, started running a little bit faster. And then I make it to USAs. And I end up winning USAs. I run a season best. I ran 5 or 6, which is a pretty fast time.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, okay, I'm feeling good. And then going into the World Champs that year, which were in Oregon, first round of the World Champs, I'm out over like hurdles 6 or 7. And I'm in the lead, like clearly ahead. Yeah. Like I'm going to win the heat, go to the next round. And I hit that junk and I fall.
Oh.
So this is 3 championships in a row now, bro.
Dang.
To me, again, that's failure, bro.
Right.
Failure. So,
like you said, some people are like, hey, you made it.
I had to go through all of that. Some people would have been like, you're a professional athlete. Like, what are you complaining about, you know?
Right.
Like, which is, I guess, understandable for some people. But for me, that all of those first 3 years, it was just like failure after failure after failure. And I finally broke through that in 2023. And then 2024, this past Olympics, coming out with 2 medals back to back. So failure is definitely a part of it. Like you see a lot of these pro athletes that you look up to and they're having success, but it's not always that they just been having success from the jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
that was a long story, but like,
no.
I feel like I had to go through it like that to show you like,
it's a process.
It was a lot. Yeah, for sure.
It's a process. Because on the top of, like, what I think about is you have, like, obviously the question I had at the beginning was like, how do you handle failure?
Yeah.
And it's like let's just stay on the sports side.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're being honest, you have to do some self-reflection. You know.
It's an understatement. 3 years? Boy.
You have to, like, and like you said, you can speak to this, obviously, this with the story you just told, but it's like you had to do some self-reflection of like, okay, did I train the way I was supposed to train?
Yeah.
Did I prepare, you know, the way I was supposed to prepare? Did I eat the right way?
Yeah.
You know, did I diet? Did I exercise? Did I recover? Did I do the things that were going to set me up to succeed?
To be successful,
you know? So it's like, I feel like you have to be honest with yourself. And, you know, if you say yes to all those things, then that goes into a whole different, you know,
a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But if you say no, then it's like, well, what did you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
You know? Like,
in that case, you can't really know like if you would have succeeded or not because you didn't give your all. You didn't give your best. For real.
Right. So what did you after like those failures? I mean, you talk about 3 years. Like, did your training get heightened more? Did your like preparation get like? I know you talk about the coaching change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, what about it? Because obviously you went through that, and then 2024 and all that stuff, you won the back-to-back medals, silver, all that stuff. But it's like in those 3 years, like, what did you do? You know, to help you, like, man, okay, recognize it.
Yeah.
I gotta tweak something, fix something, or if you didn't tweak or fix anything, you know.
No, I tweaked and fixed a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, from the first one in 2019, I made 2 coaching changes. So I moved twice. Right. I was in Kentucky, moved to Fort Worth, Texas. I was there for 6 months. That wasn't working out, and then I moved here to North Carolina. But along with the coaching changes, which is just the programming, like that alone is not going to change what I necessarily fully like how I perform, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, like you were saying, just introspective, like what are you gonna do at the end of the day? Like, yes, this stuff happened. Yes, I can make the excuses like, oh, at the championships, the hurdles are different.
Right.
I wasn't used to it. I'm not used to it.
Right.
Which is true. Like, the hurdles are different. They're wooden hurdles at the World Champs. Just because of the brand that they use is different than like the regular meets. They use like plastic ones.
Plastic, yeah.
So when you hit them, sometimes it can, if you're not used to it, that junk can throw you off.
Yeah.
So in my mind, like throughout those first 3 years, I was making all these excuses like, man, I wish the hurdles were just the same. I'd have been straight.
Yeah.
But I came to a point where I was like, the hurdles not gonna change, bro. Like the hurdles, they are what they are.
Yeah.
And I see other people having success, so why can't I do that same thing? So a lot of it was just me, like telling myself, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like you just got to do it. You can't just be out here making excuses, thinking like, oh, this needs to change, that needs to change. Yes, I made those coaching changes for different reasons, which I believe helped.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying that the reason I got to the point where I could win a bronze medal at the World Championships, where I could win a silver medal at the Olympics, was what I did like here, for real. Like I had to change so much here. I had to change just the way that I view practice, just the way that I view myself when it came to competition, like expecting to win when I stepped out on the track, you know, that type of thing. So it was a lot of work, a lot of talking to myself, a lot of watching motivational videos, a lot of
getting that mind right,
reading the word, and just having people around you to like, that's still uplifting you, even though going through those 3 years in a row could be hard. So
I was gonna say you I don't know when you wrote this, but I remember you gave me that journal because I needed a notebook.
Oh yeah.
Do you know when you wrote that stuff? Like, do you know?
I mean, I've done it over the years.
Over the years. Oh, well, for people that don't know, this is actually, you know, I was like, hey, Dan, you got a notebook I can use. I need to write some stuff down, all that stuff. He was like, yeah, use this one. And you handed it to me, and I just opened up the pages, and no joke, like 6 or 7 pages, front and back, was I am. What it was like. It's actually in the other room. I should have brought it in here, but you were like, I am an Olympic athlete. I am an Olympic athlete. Like, you know how you get in trouble in school, and you're like, I will not disrespect the teacher, and you have to write it 100 times.
Yeah,
that's literally what this man wrote in the journal. It's like, I am an Olympic champion. I am an Olympic champion. I will run 13, whatever. Yeah. And I was just, you know, I thought that was just pretty cool.
That's really a part of it. Some of that, I started doing that in 2019 when I first had like my breakout year. Yeah. And I saw the impact of it then, just writing down what you want. And it's really training for your mind, for real. Because you're like, I won't even say tricking yourself. You're like telling yourself what to believe and what to expect. Yeah. It's not, I don't like when people say tricking because it's acting like it's not true or something. Like, it's true, and it can be true. It's just up to you, and you got to be able to believe it. So writing it down over and over again, your mind is like, dang, this is really like, you know, like, you have to think about it and tell your hand to write this. So you have to have some type of that pattern over and over again, having going from your brain to your hand, and then if you're saying it too, it can change your entire life.
And it wasn't like you wrote it twice. Yeah, that jump was
pages, line by line. That's like days. That's like days. Like almost, it could be possibly a whole year. Like I would just write when I wake up in the morning, write it maybe 3 times, and then whenever I think about it, middle of the day, write it again. Yeah,
there was something that thinking about this, like athletes, like staying on that. Somebody sent me this on Instagram, and it's just fitting for this episode.
All right, come on,
it was
let's
good.
Get it.
So it's like, it says Kobe won 5 NBA championships. Yeah, he also holds the all-time record for missed shots. Babe Ruth won 7 World Series. He also led the MLB in strikeouts for 5 seasons. Dang. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. He also holds the record for most passes intercepted in Super Bowl history. Serena Williams won 23 Grand Slams. She also holds the record for the most unforced errors in a single match. Djokovic won 24 Grand Slams. He also holds the record for the most tennis final losses in history. And it just says right here, like, these aren't contradictions. They're just proof of what it takes to win at the highest level. Winners don't succeed in spite of failure. They succeed because of failure. Yeah. So I was like, man, that's
I ain't know
fitting,
some of them for real.
Yeah,
you know,
neither
that definitely fits.
not gonna lie to you. I feel like I need to go back and fact check, but I feel like, you know,
for real.
I feel like that. Why would you lie about that stuff? But
yeah,
but I think like, man, failure can be a thing, and we can kind of like, this kind of pushes us into the like more
other side of it.
Yeah, other side of it's like, man, failure can produce. It can produce greatness. Yeah. And like a relying on your training, or relying on your ability, or like everything that you just mentioned, self-talk, all that stuff. It can produce that, but also failure can produce negativity. It can produce laziness. It can produce like negative self-talk. It can produce it can produce the complete opposite side of things. Yeah. Just because you failed. Yeah. You know, so is there, I guess, I'm trying to think about like, man, I failed. I ain't gonna lie, I've failed a lot of times. but I'm trying to think of a time that's like, that I really like it negatively. I guess what I'll say, like when I played basketball, like I was a late bloomer in basketball. So for those that don't know what that means, I got good my senior year. Yeah. And so colleges wasn't heavily recruiting me and stuff like that, small schools. So I just decided to go JUCO, and which nowadays JUCO is like, it's the thing to go to. Yeah. So I went JUCO, and I like the first year I only played there for a year. So I got done playing, and I was like, I didn't get kicked off the team. Yeah. But the coach asked me not to come back. You know what I'm saying? What? Like I finished the year, but the coach was like, "Hey, it's in your best interest." Okay. Yeah, he's like, "It's in your best interest if we part ways." And I was like, first of all, how do you know it's in my best interest? But I got you. You know, cool. Yeah. But then like going home and sitting there thinking about it, I was like, man, I failed. Like I failed basketball. Yeah. Like I'm not. So it's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It like, you start getting depressed. You start being like, man, like I just wasted, like all this talent and ability that I have is wasted. Yeah. Like you find yourself moping around, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I was a believer at the time. Yeah. Still am. Sound weird.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
but in those moments, it was like what I had to rely on was like God. Like I had to rely on him, and like, you know what? God allowed me to fail. Yeah. Like he allowed it to happen. Yeah. Because this is what I feel like he has for me. Yeah, for sure. You know, like I want you to go impact the youth. I want you to go impact people on the court. I want you to train people. So it's like I had to sit there and wrestle with the failure. Like, man, you know, I failed in this. But then I had to go back and be like, Lord, what is like, you know, you don't do anything by mistake. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying like the Lord's like, yeah, I'm going to make you fail in this, but he allowed it to happen. He allowed it. You know? For sure. So like I had to rely on that a whole lot. Yeah. Because if not, your mind can go down. Because then I started sitting there going like, bro, like, man, forget this. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying I want to like commit suicide or nothing like that, but it was like, you just have no excitement to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I had those same like thoughts after the 2022 year when I was with the old coach, the year that I failed. I was like, should I retire? Yeah. You know, like, do I really want to do this? Right. Like that's what I was thinking for real. Like highly considering, like I might just be done with this junk altogether. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I ain't gonna do this no more. But yeah, no, I fully agree with what you were saying. Like, and that makes me kind of think of, when you think of failure, kind of what we were talking about before, it can sometimes be, what's the word? Like subjective? Mm-hmm. Is that the word?
If you flesh it out, yeah.
I don't know. It can be like different for different people. You know what I'm saying? So like for us, like for that situation you were saying with the basketball, like to you, that was a failure because you had your dreams and your goals and like you wanted to play. But in God's eyes, that was exactly what it needed to be in order for you to get where you're at now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which is crazy to think about. Yeah. Because then that's when it's like, when people say like, why do bad things happen to good people? And it's like God,
depends on how you're looking at it.
Right. In his sovereign, in his sovereignty, he allows, like, I'm sitting here thinking about Job.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like Satan, like, went to visit God.
Went to God and was like,
he went to him.
You know what's crazier? Because I'm actually reading Job right now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hype about this in my fast. Me and my friend reading Job right now. We literally was reading. It might be different in different translations.
Yeah.
The one that I was reading, it literally just said that Satan or the devil, whatever it said, was coming to God, and God asked, "Where you been?" Yep. He said, "I've been roaming back and forth,
rolling through the earth."
And then God just said, "Have you considered Job?" There was he didn't ask no questions. Look, devil didn't say nothing. He didn't say, "I'm asking him, like, you got somebody you trying to get rid of?" No,
bro.
God said, "Have you considered Job?"
Look,
at the point, Job was that dude from what I was reading.
He was that guy.
He had the status, he had the money, the family, everything. He had everything that you could think of and want.
Bro, I'm so glad you brought that up, because it's like, first of all, if you haven't read Job, the Bible is better than Netflix.
It's spicy, but I'm telling you, that thing is spicy. You've been telling them.
But it's like, I'm reading it right here. He said, "Where are you coming from?" And he said, from roaming the earth. And it says then, literally, from roaming the earth, Satan answered him and walking around it. The next verse says, verse 8 in particular, "Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job?" So it's like, God, like, if you go read Job and you see the life that Job, I'm talking about everything gone. Everything. But it's like the Lord allowed it to happen. Like he allowed it to happen. Not
even like gradually though.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. Like he didn't have time to say goodbye. He didn't have time to prepare himself, like, to set things up to where he can still. It was
like God said,
in an instant.
Because Satan knew. He said, "Don't you have a hedge of protection over everything?" Yeah. And the Lord said, "Very well then, I do." everything. It's now you just can't kill him. Yeah. You can. Everything is in your power now. But that's so crazy. Like Satan, like, went, and it's like, hey, I know what you want right now. Yeah. Here's Job. Everything, just don't kill him. I know him. Yeah. I know you.
You know what's even crazier, bro? Now that you're talking about it,
no.
Obviously, I don't know if Job in that moment could sense this, but think about the amount of faith that God himself had to bring up Job out of everyone on the earth. He just said, "Have you considered my servant Job?" Like,
I want to know, hey, have you considered Avery? I don't want that.
I'm about to say, I'm like, yes, I want it, but
do I want it? But no. Like, that's big. That's high praise. Like, God said, "Hey, have you considered
Job?"
Because what he's not going to do, he's not going to curse me to.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
I mean, the thing is, but how would he know that though? You know how he would know that?
Talk to us.
Because Job.
Just talk to us.
Don't get me started.
Just talk to us.
The thing is, before I say this, let me preface. I'm not a historian.
Right.
I don't have no Bible to back this up because it doesn't talk about his life prior.
We just read it.
But based off what it says and the things that happened and the way God responded to certain things, I have to believe God knew how he knew about Job and knew that Job was going to rock with him no matter what, because of something that has happened before in his past to set him up. Like, everywhere else in the Bible, you see that. Like, even with David, like when he was fighting the lion and he was fighting the bear, and then he got to the point where he was actually a warrior. Goliath. Yeah, and Goliath. I forgot. Yeah, Goliath. So it's like there's things that had to lead to him being like, "Have you considered my servant Job?" It wasn't like God just, Job.
God knew Job and Job knew God.
They knew each other for sure. Like he knew what he was about for sure. He wasn't finna just put him out there and be like, "Oh dang, Job, you let me down." He knew Job wasn't finna let that man down, bro.
The first time, I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I read that, because people be glossing over that.
Nah, for sure.
Like, they just get right into the stuff.
I just started reading, and I'm like, bro, what the heck?
Everybody skips to what he lost and how he got blessed. Yeah. What they don't read, what people, at least let me speak for myself. What people don't read is how Job was put in that situation to begin with. Yeah. And then God's response. after or before he blessed him with everything.
Yeah.
That man, God came onto the scene talking about something. Were you there when I created the heavens and earth? Were you there when I did this? Were you there when I put the water? Were you there? Like, who are you?
And honestly, I was like, dang, bro. Honestly, to tie this all back up, when it comes to like for Job, he felt like his whole life was a failure at that point. Like he didn't, because it don't matter what he had, it don't matter how high up he came.
He's like, man, it'd be best for me. Why am I living?
To just die, to never have been born. Like he literally said that.
Yeah.
So for him, in his eyes, he was like, dang, like this is it. Like I don't even want to be here no more. My life has no meaning.
Yeah.
But during that interaction, God essentially was trying to like get his perspective right. Was like, dude, I am the God of the universe. Like I created all this. How you gonna tell me what's good and what's not? How you gonna tell me if your life is a success at this point or not? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, talk to us.
Boy, God different, bro. He different. And it's all in the Bible, though. That's the crazy part.
Different.
This ain't nothing I made up. It say it right there.
He different. He's different.
No, for sure.
And then that's the thing. It's like, and then afterwards, he like he has that interaction with Job, and then Job responds, and then like God he blesses his life. Like
he makes it even better than what he first had.
But it's like, and then I just have to sit there and think. It's like Job's perspective was changed in that moment. It's like, man, like you said, you're the God of the universe.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
Like, but I gotta get back up.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, bro.
It's bro. It is.
But it's like this is ministering to me because it's like, man, what is failure?
Exactly.
Like, and so I was talking to somebody the other day or something like that. Whenever this comes out, I was talking to them yesterday, but it won't come out.
Yeah.
So down the road. But we were talking about, I was like, man, when you're dealing with God, when you're in God's economy, when you're in God's kingdom, or like, you know, it's a win-win situation.
It is, bro.
Like when I fail, Lord, you're trying to teach me something.
Yeah.
There's a reason, you know, if I cause the failure, there's something here for me.
Yeah. You can still learn from that. Yeah.
I'm still learning from it. When I succeed, Lord, you did this.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's like, man, you just end up in a win-win situation. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be hard and frustrating? And you look at the story of Job. Can there be tragedy? Yes.
Yes, it can.
But it's like, man, when you're dealing with God, he will never leave you nor forsake you. He's with you in the good times. Yeah. He's with you in the bad times. But then we also need to remember he's with you in the journey. Yeah. He's with you after the process. He's with you. Like, and it's like it's just a win-win situation.
He's always working things out for your good at the end of the day.
For those that love him.
For those that love him.
It's like,
put your trust in God. He's working things out for your good. You know what I'm saying? We can wrap this up. We're going to have a bonus episode for this one, though.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. But, man, if you want, we're going to keep on talking because there's so much more we can get into that we want to get into personally and stuff like that. So if you want to hop over and listen to a bonus episode, just go to our Patreon. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even know what I'm trying to say because that jump was good, bro.
Go to the Patreon.
I'm still thinking about Joe.
You go to the Patreon, subscribe on there so you can get the bonus content. I'm telling y'all, we gonna keep going. This is about to be good.
This is gonna be good. So, hey, appreciate all y'all for tuning in, man. We love that y'all got that. If this is your first time, like you said, appreciate you coming through. My name's Daniel.
I'm Daniel. This is Avery. If this helped you,
I tell you, bro,
share it with somebody. We love y'all.
Hey, Joe, the story of Joe done messed me up, man.
Till next time, y'all. Peace out. I'm dead.